So thank you very much, Herman. So as you said, today I will, let's say, go through this OLEUM Databank that we developed within the framework of this project. But perhaps before that, I would like, as the audience is not exactly the same as yesterday, to recap a little bit what I said concerning the purpose of this OLEUM Databank and the implementation. So, well, our objective was to build a web-based platform in order to store the information generated by the OLEUM consortium. And the idea is to gather, query, retrieve, export the information in an open standard format. The information that we will store are here summarized in this table. So you can see that there are several measurements that are concerned. Those are, let's say, analyzed by several techniques. And we are also storing some information documents in a repository. Those documents can be, let's say, the standard operating procedure, etc. So we will have two main parts in this data bank, one for the repository and another one to store and manage processed data. The concept of this data bank is mainly based on an experiment plan. So the idea is to really trace and track and trace the experiment. So based on that, we have, as any experiment, several components. First is the participant of this experiment, which technique they will apply on which samples and what they will measure. So once you have built your experiment, the system is generating a reporting template that can be exported, and this then can be filled in by the participant with their results, imported back to the system, and then you can manage the results. As you can see, for all these components, we are talking about metadata. So the descriptors, we were planning and thinking on what could be the minimum information to be reported. So perhaps now I will skip here and start the. So can you see then still the data bank now? Is it okay?
Yeah, we now see the OLEUM Databank website.
Okay, perfect. So once you are in the welcome page, if you're first time, so you can register, giving, let's say, several information that is required, or you can log in because I'm already registered. So here I will add my password. Okay, so now you can see that I logged in the database. So the welcome page changed a little bit, but you have a main menu where you have, let's say, the home page, which is that one, where we explain a little bit the history of the data bank, who participated, etc. And here you have also the functional mailbox to contact us when you have some question, or, for example, to register, because there was the register, but then also you have to send us a contact form explaining who you are, why you want to access this database, what you want to do with the database. And based on that, then we can authorize you to access and give you a specific permission levels. So as I was saying, this database is built on repository and the database itself to manage the data. And of course, here you can see for the administration, we have, let's say, the possibility to manage the roles and the users, if we can put them, to block them or not, etc. So concerning the repository, so when you are clicking on this, you arrive in the, let's say, main overview windows of the repository, where you have a list of all the documents that are currently stored in the database. So you have different fields to describe the document, but of course you can also click on one of the documents, and then you can see, let's say, more details concerning this document, the purpose, the description, who create the document, who deposit it, and of course you have a link on the document itself. So if you are clicking on the link, here, you upload the document on your computer, and then by clicking on it, you will open it. Sorry that with my computer is taking some time, but it should be okay. Well, no, it's not that one, it's another. Yes, still to open it. Okay, so here you can see this document, and then you can go through the different information that has been provided by the authors. In this case, it is to give an example of calculation for the sensory testing. What you can see also is that there is a statute on the access policy, so you can decide if this document will be public or restricted. If you decide that it's restricted, then you can select here to whom you will give an access. Okay, so I will not save, so I go back to this repository. What you can see is that also there are, let's say, main action that are available. So of course you can create a new document, you can update it or clone one document. So if there are, let's say, a large part of the information that are the same, so you just clone it and then you modify the information that are different from the previous one. And of course, you can delete. But be aware that what I'm showing here is, let's say, the full access, because I'm a super administrator. And so consequently, I have access to everything. But of course, if you're an observer, you will not have the possibility to delete anything. But there are also other rules. Huh? But just for you to really understand the concept and the possibility, that's why I log in as a super administrator. So this is for, let's say, a document. And then, of course, we have several type of document, as you can see it, the reporting file template, the SOP, the calculation file. And soon when the validation will be finished, we will have also the validation report in it. Well, so then you can go to the database itself. So for the management of the data. And there first, what we have to understand is this, let's say, management of the metadata. I will not go through all the metadata for the different entities, as I was explaining, organization, technique, sample set, measurement, but I will illustrate with one concerning the sample. Perhaps it's one of an important one, is to really understand all characteristic of a specific sample. So here I selected then the sample for the metadata. So to illustrate what we decided with the partners that could be the minimum information to report for samples. So here is, let's say, the template, not the template, the form to create and manage this metadata. So we have, So we have different fields. You name it. Here I put provide an acronym. And then you can select a field type, and you can see that we have several ones. You can also decide it if this field will be mandatory or optional. And of course, when it is necessary, it can be deleted. As to illustrate the different field types, for example, here you have one with a selected box. So when you will have the template to fill in, you will have for this sample type the possibility to select among authentic, traceable, experimental. You have, of course, date field, you have number fields, etc. And so here, for example, for varieties or name, you can see there is a large possibility of items. So when this is done, so of course you can add more fields if it's necessary, and then you can update. I will not do it here, but if you modified something, then you will update and then you will obtain a new version. Here I will cancel it because it was to illustrate how this metadata are managed. And for example, I took here the samples, but you can take it for experiment, for results, for organization, etc. So now if we go to the sample management, so here we will have a list. So you can see that for each entities, we have the same approach. So when you are in a entity, then you have an overview window where you can see where it is listed all the current samples that are registered for the moment. And then these are, let's say, shown by 20, and you can go through the different pages by clicking here. So same action, this is often the same, but you can see that for some of the entity, you will have other tags. So here, the possibility is to import a template that the user will have with, let's say, the possibility to fill in an Excel sheet. So perhaps I can show here. Voilà. Yes. Okay. So here, this is exactly the same template in the database, but it is in Excel. So the people has the possibility to fill in the information they want to report to the database. And if it's going in a field where there is a possibility to select some items, then he can decide it if it will be a sample for experimentation or is it really a reference sample. And then like that is going through all the metadata and fill everything. As you know, this, let's say, reporting metadata for sample is time consuming, but nonetheless is really essential and should be done with careful. And now where I am. Okay. So if you are creating a new samples directly in the data bank, you will get, of course, the empty template, and then you can start filling the information that is required. When you see a red asterisk, so this means that it is a mandatory field. Sometimes in front of a field, you have a question mark, and then you have some, let's say, quick instruction to help you. And when you see an arrow, so is the fact that you can select among several possibilities. So you are filling this. This is, of course, for each samples. And then you can create it. I will not do it here, but if you create, then you will add in the list that we saw before. So he's asking if you want really to cancel it because you didn't save anything. Okay, so this is for the registration of the samples. Perhaps what I would like also to show is a common, let's say, features of all this overview is that you can do a search directly in this field there, looking, for example, for sterols. Okay. So here is select the samples that have been used in the sample set for sterols. Another possibility is that you are filtering on these different fields. So here, if I type Italy, oops, no, of course, it's not here. On.
Alain, you have another 4 minutes if it's okay?
Yes, yes, yes. Allez. Voilà. Okay, so as I was saying, you can filter it here. Okay, so for example, for Italy, you can also sort a field directly, or you can also move a column to another place. And also, but here I have to, so here you have also the possibility to select some columns that you want to see instead of looking all the columns. So you select them and then you reduce and you can export the information that you want in an Excel file. This is common features that you will see for all this overview in the different entities. And then we arrive in the, let's say, the management of an experiment. So if you open one, so you can, of course, add some information to describe this experiment that you are doing, the name of the experiment, an identification, the objectives, when it will start, when it should end. And then, as I was explaining, this is the structure of the experiment. So you decide here which participant will provide the analysis. And then you can also say this Institut des Corps Gras will use the GCFID. This will be done on sterols sample set that you prepared in advance. And of course, well, as it is the sterol, so you select the measurement corresponding for the sterols. And then you can include it in the experiment. So I will not do it here because there is already one. Once you are doing when you are including, so you can include several of this combination here. And when it is finished, so you update or you create, your experiment. And once you create it, it will create a report template. You can decide if you want that this experiment will be restricted or public. It is up to you. So here I cancel it. Once your experiment is built, so you go to the results management. And so here, for example, we have several ones that have already been recorded in the database. So it's taking some time to load the data. Voilà. So here are the samples that has been included for analysis in this experiment. And then you can scroll, you will have all the metadata. And at the end, you will see also let's say, the information that has been reported by the participant. Sorry, I mean that. Because I was in the sample set, not in the results. So you can see here, so we have the samples that has been analyzed, okay? And at the end, the results that has been reported by the participant for this experiment. Okay, so you can, again, export. Some of them is the same principle. You can select what you want, and then you can export this for, let's say, additional treatment like a statistic treatment. And just to finalize, you have also then the search. For the search, then there you will see all the available experiments with the different techniques, etc. And with the same principle, then you can start to search or directly filtering, or here typing some keywords. Voilà. And then again, you can select the column that you want to see. So here, in addition to the other one, you will see who participate in this experiment, which technique has been used, and of course, the data that has been reported. You can select some specific column that you are more interested on, and you export everything in an Excel sheet. Perhaps just to finish, is just to say that, of course, on top of a training that we will give to new user, there is also a user manual. So when you are clicking on it, again, is uploading the document, but I think that I have it directly here. Yes, well, so here you have the user manual with all instruction depending on the role that the user has. If it's, let's say, a leader laboratory, or is it a registered user to participate in an experiment, or he is just an observer. So I think that I finished my presentation for, let's say, how to use the databases. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Alain.